Alrighty, let's talk about the books I read in July. It looks like I read 9 books in July. Alrighty. And the first one I finished, of course, was this comic. So, the second volume of The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, which, yeah, I liked this volume more than the first one. It like went back in time, but like I don't know what they were dealing with kind of made more sense. I guess like after the first one, you have like some context, and this one I don't know. We just spent more time in like one timeline, which was the past, which made helped to make more sense for me, because I was a little bit confused in the first one. But yeah, this one we started making more sense. But yeah, basically our main character, he is a clown. He's a clown all the way. He's the class clown. He does not give a shit, and I think it's hilarious. So, yeah. So this is like, I mean, there's serious stuff going on, but he brings the humor. So, yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. And then it looks like after that, I read Shorefall, which that's continuing the Founders trilogy. This one, it's like you find out more backstory about like stuff that happened, stuff and characters from the first book. Like it's hard to say too much since it's a sequel or a second book in a series without spilling too much. But basically, we find out a lot more about like characters that were introduced in the first book, and so like this one is where our main character Sancha, she has like a plate in her head that lets her communicate with items or whatever, and so there's just like a whole lot of learning more and more and more about like the magic system, which the magic in this world is kind of based off of physics, but like altered physics. So you can tell wood to be strong as stone or something. Like it's stuff like that. Like you're just kind of rewriting what it does and telling locks like, oh, you only stay unlocked for like this long and blah blah blah. But then she can go in and like I guess see like the history of stuff and everything. Like it kind of tells her, or like she sees a picture of a building through by like touching the building and stuff. It's interesting, and she's like a thief and all that. So the first book was like a few heists, and then in this one, we continue on with all the stuff they're doing and finding out more. But man, like you definitely find out more about like the ending of the first one, because I was like, oh, this is gonna be like real intense, and it was. It was. I was here for it. So yeah, I still liked it. The things that happened in that were satisfying to me. You just keep finding out more, and I'm just like, I don't know how else to explain it without spilling too much, but I liked it, and I gave it 4.5, and I have the next book ready to read from the library, so I'm gonna be wrapping up that trilogy real soon. But yeah, so far, yeah, the magic system kind of is based on logic, and so it's not one that doesn't make like. It's one that makes more sense versus like some of the crazier magic systems in some other series. This one is like, if you like a logical system, you'll like this one. So, anyways, that's that. After that, I listened to the audiobook of The Amalfi Curse, and that one was witches in Italy, basically. This book, it goes through 2 timelines, so you have the women from the past, the witches, the strega because they're Italian. I believe that's how you say it, Italian for witch. So we got witches in Italy doing magic to the water to try to protect their town from like pirates or just bad people coming in on boats and stuff. So yeah, they control the water in that area, and it's been known as the Amalfi Curse, which is just like that's what they call it, the phenomenon that's in the water, but really it's just magic and witchcraft. So there's the dual timeline of our main character in the present time that is looking into like wrecked ships and stuff and the history of all of that in the present and finding out about like basically the stuff they were doing in the past. And so you find some interconnecting things. I thought the romance in this was a little whack, not gonna lie. I'm like, it felt very rushed and weird. like like maybe it works like that for some people, but I don't know. I wasn't buying it, and I remember thinking the ending was kind of convenient. So but generally it was like a decent read. So I gave it 3.75, but yeah, there was just like a few little things where I was like, this feels like we just need to wrap this up. So it wasn't quite, as good as I think it could have been if we had just like let some stuff be a little bit less easy. But anyway, so yeah, that one was, you know, you should read it if you're interested. And then after that, I read Jara, which this is a YA book. And our main girl, she's got magic, but in a world where it's like a bad thing for people to know that you have magic. The magicians are being disappeared. It's not a good time in her world to have magic. But basically, in this book, she's going through, like, she's kind of going through a lot, like realizing where her real friends are and learning about her magic, and then also having to deal with a lot of like crap going on in the world at the same time, but basically like learning to like care about herself a little bit more, because she's been so, like, I feel bad for her. She like basically grew up around people that did not give her that many shits about her, and then she tries to do the right thing, but it's like it's not easy in her world the way that things are. So I remember just thinking the part that's the most YA about this to me is the dude. Is the guy, the like love interest basically, and I did not care for him that much. But for the most part, this is like a solid book, and I will be continuing on with the series. But yeah, basically, she's finding out slowly like who her people are. So I gave this 3.75. Yeah, it was a little bit on the like more YA side than I would have cared for, but at the same time, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So, if you can look past like that one dude being ridiculous, he's kind of like the comedic relief, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, I will be continuing with this series. That's that one. And then after that, I listened to Caught Up. And I like at first I was into it because I was like, oh yeah, tell me the drama, tell me what happened. And then in this one, our main character, Lauren, I think was her name, that girl started getting on my nerves. She started getting on my nerves because she's just one of those people that likes to hurt her own feelings. So in this one, the girl's not the one with the mafia family, it's the guy. And so I don't know what she expected. Our main character kind of has like her issues about him being in the mafia, and I don't know, like she just kind of acts ridiculous about it, if you're asking me. And so that's kind of what made me not like it as much as I think I could have, because I just kind of thought she was being unrealistic. So I was a little bit annoyed with our female MC in this one, but I gave it 3.5. It's still like a fun read. I'll still read the last one. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy, so we'll see when that comes out. But I'll still read the last one because yeah, they're just fun reads. Like I don't think you should go too like thinking that it's gonna be like the best shit ever, expecting like a literary masterpiece. No, that's not what these books are for. But they are fun reads, so it's a fun dark read. And then after that, oh yeah, I read the arc of Stars Above the Neversea, and this book, first off, it's kind of like playing off of like Peter Pan and stuff, and it's a fantasy romance, right? And our main character, she is the last of her race, basically. The another group in this world, like wipes out her people in like one day because there wasn't that many of them in the first place. So they just came to the island, destroyed them all, and the girl just has trauma on trauma on trauma, and it's very sad. It's very sad to see her going through all of this, and then the middle of the book just really lulled, and I just wasn't that into that part, and I wasn't that into the romance. Like I wasn't really buying it. Our dude just felt kind of pushy, especially after the things that our girl has gone through. I'm like, I wish he had been paying attention more to what was going on around him versus and like trying to be there for her versus trying to be like kind of pushy about a relationship. I'm like, dude, y'all have known each other for like what, a week, and he's over here pushing this. Like, settle down, please. Settle down. So anyways, I wasn't so into that, and I don't think I'll be continuing the series just because it was predictable. The ending was predictable for me, and it got kind of horror-y. So like the beginning is very tragic, the ending is very tragic, and in the middle it was just like kind of a nothing sandwich. So I gave this one 3 stars, and I'm not going to continue that series. Let's see. After that, a good book that I read was A Fragile Enchantment. I'm glad I finally got around to this. So this one's like a Regency romance, but with like a hint of magic. The magic's not like the biggest part about this, but our main character, she can like weave emotions into like the stuff, the clothing that she makes, and so her ability's kind of interesting in that way. Like she can make people cry, she can make you seem like formidable in your clothing and stuff. So it's kind of cool. It's like an interesting take on magic, and then the love interest, he can do like plant magic and make stuff grow. So this one just had like drama. Like, you know, the drama you want from like a Regency romance. Drama. This book had the good drama, and I was into it, and I was sweating it at the end, and I was just like, oh my god, because obviously like she's low born or whatever, and they don't like her people, and they think they're too good for her and everything, and it made for like tension and drama and angst, and I was just here for it. I was here for it. I gave this 4.5, and like I feel like this is a book I could reread in a couple years, because I won't, at that point I'll forget what happened at the end and I'll be surprised again. So it's one of those books where I just thought it was fun. I mean, it is like a YA book, and so I think there was like a little bit of cheesiness in certain parts that made me give it like not a full 5, but honestly, like this is pretty close to a 5 for me. So, but I gave it 4.5. I might round that up. But anyways, for now it's at a 4.5, and I'm absolutely keeping this book. I really liked it. I like this author's writing style. I will read more by this author. So there's that one. And then after that, ooh, okay. After that, I read This Poison Heart, which was also a banger. This, so far, I'm liking everything that I've read by this author, by Kalynn Bayron, I think is how you say her name. I like this. So our main character, Briseis, she has plant magic, and but she's adopted, so she doesn't know like her family history or anything. And so basically in this, you find out a lot about her family, because suddenly she's a hot commodity because of who her parents were, or at least who her mom was. And so yeah, you just kind of, she ends up inheriting a house from her aunt that is supposedly passed away or whatever, and supposedly she's in the will, and so she gets this house, and she goes into that house and starts finding out all kinds of stuff about like more about her powers, more about her family, and it gets intense. And I like the ending of this. It was more twisty than it had like more than I expected going on at the end there. And, you know, this was also a YA book, but I was into it. Like, I guess this was just a month for reading YA. Because, but like, good YA, like, this was good. And I'm absolutely reading the second book. Like, I am excited for that. So, yeah, I have the second one, and I'm glad I do, because I want to read it pretty soon. So, yeah. So, this is another author that, like, I'm absolutely going to keep reading books by her, because this was a win for me. So, and I like her style. So there you go. So that's that one. Okay, and then the last book that I read was A Night of Wings and Starlight. And this one, I listened to the audiobook, and I just felt like our main character was really full of herself, kinda. She was very cocky. But our main character, our main character in this one, she is living like in the mountain, which like there's just basically a bunch of kids that got sold to be trained at the mountain as runners. So like, like messengers. They're supposed to like run out into the world and get stuff, but their land is all in darkness. Like the sun doesn't come up for some reason. It's like magical bullshit going on, and she finds out a lot about the outside world and the stuff that's going on out there, and learns that like what they were told was not completely accurate and all this kind of stuff, which shocker. And also like the queen of their land is an asshole. So there's just a lot of bullshit. And then she ends up it's a fantasy romance, so she ends up meeting up with this dude that has wings and can fly and all this, and then he basically saves her from like the vampires and everything, and he's the love interest. And I'm just like, he's like 300, she's like 16, and he's like, I've been waiting for you for like 300 years. For a generic teenager, honestly, I feel like she's just a cocky teenage girl. I don't feel like she was that special, but it's one of those like, you're the chosen one, because she likes violence. Yeah, so I felt like this girl was just a murder hobo. It was a murder hobo teenage girl getting together with a wingy man. I think he's a demon technically, but I just felt like it was bullshit. I just wasn't that into it because I just didn't like her that much, and I thought she was really, really pushy and demanding in like an ugly way. Like, yeah, you want to be assertive, but this was some next level shit. I just thought she was too much of a brat for my liking, and so I don't know. I didn't vibe with this, and I think there's a second book, and I'm just not gonna read that. So that was 3 stars I gave it. So, but that's that. So those are all the books I read. I think they were mostly wins, actually. So not bad for the most part. Yeah, I think there's only a couple books that I was like not that into. The rest of them, even the lower ranked ones were like pretty decent. So good month for reading, I guess. Can't be mad at it. And I'll catch y'all next time.